السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمد ونصلي على رسول كريم. أما بعد. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah who is worthy of worship. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his slave and final messenger. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower his peace and blessings on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all righteous believers who follow in the path of the Siratul Mustaqim until the day of judgment. Dear brothers and sisters, today we have come to the end of the month of Muharram, the first month of the year, one of the most sanctified months of the year. And as we enter the remaining 11 months of this year, we need to reflect back and we need to ponder over time itself. We need to think about what we have accomplished in the past year, what we are going to be accomplishing in the coming year. You need to reflect on what you had planned to accomplish but could not accomplish in the past year, and what were the reasons behind it. You need to think about the members of your family and friends who are no longer with us because their time had come. Anything and everything that you can possibly think about that can make you think about time itself. That is what we need to be thinking about. How, if you start thinking about time and using time in the most appropriate of ways, you will end up increasing your own spirituality as a result of it. And that is something that we need to be thinking about. It is definitely healthy if you think about the past. You need to think about how you have spent time in the past. And there is so often that you hear people saying, I don't have the time. I'm too busy. Right? I can't do this, I can't do that. I can't do what I want to do. These are words that are often spoken. We often hear them. Just the concept of being too busy. And in this thought process of having no time, the time that we have flies away. Just think about that. It just flies away. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. Years turn into decades. And it's gone. And before you know it, you are at the doorstep of death itself. Is that what you want? Look at Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself. If you think about it, he lived an average lifespan. In some ways, you can say it's below average lifespan. He lived a life of 63 years. Of those 63 years, he had the wahi for only 23 years. Right? He had the nubuwwah, the prophethood, the messengership for 23 years only. And out of those 23 years, the first 13 were very difficult years in Makkah. It is the following 10 years in Medina that he spent, a lot of ayats were revealed. A lot of hadiths were narrated. We get a bulk of our religion from that period. 10 years and a lot of was accomplished. Literally the whole world was set up to be changed because of those 10 years. There have been many imams, many scholars in the past who have lived a very short life, but they have accomplished a lot. There have been reports of some scholars having written books itself between the time of Zohar and Asr. Allahu Akbar. They had the time to write books between Zohar and Asr, and those books are now being taught in the Islamic universities around the world. Not a joke. Right? Think about time. The first myth that we need to dispel with is that we don't have time. Stop saying that. Because by Allah, I have time. By Allah, you have time. There is no doubt about it. The point is, it is not the quantity of time, but it is the quality, how you use that time. That is what you need to be thinking about. How do I use that time to the best of my abilities? We all have equal amounts of time in terms of the clock as such. We have the same number of months, we have the same number of weeks, we have the same number of days, we have the same number of hours, same number of minutes. All of us, exactly the same. But what you do with that time is the question. That is of significance, that is of importance. What do I do with my time? How do I maximize that time? How do I optimize that time to make good quality use of it? How do I benefit out of that time more than how others are using that time? What do I do? See, the concept of understanding the value of time and management of time, it is something that is instilled in the employees usually in the corporate world, in today's corporate world. It's the first thing that people focus on. How do you make the best use of time? Companies spend millions and billions of dollars on it. Why? And why is it such a mandatory training? To use quality time. Not just in the working culture, but everything is related to how you use time. In our religion, it is at the core of the Sharia. If you follow the Quran and Sunnah properly, it will automatically make you understand the value of time. It will automatically make you understand how to best manage time, how to make the best use of it. Multiple verses in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to us with regards to time. He even swears in the Holy Quran by the time, right? Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr. It is by time that human being, and there have been scholars who say that if only Wal asr, the surah, was revealed, that would have been enough. The concept of how human beings use time to the benefit of themselves for their akhirah. Are they using it right or not? One of the worst traps of shaitan. It is to make us think that when we are worshipping Allah, that we are spending too much time. Too much time. Even the religious folks among us, even the most religious of ones who pray regularly 5 times a day in the masjid by Jama, the shaitan comes to them and says, you're spending too much time in worshipping. Let's get done with it quickly. You stand up for Zuhr, and this cursed one comes and whispers in your ear, remember that meeting that you have? Why don't you just hurry up? Let's make it quick. Somebody's waiting for you. There's no time for Sunnah today. There's no time for Azkar today. Keep going. You get up for Maghrib, you get up for Isha, and the next itinerary turns up in your head. You've got to do this, you've got to do this. You've got to attend that party. Right? What not? No time for Sunnah, no time for Azkar. Come on, let's go. Or let's just rush through them. You are made to think that you are saving time. And you are made to think that you are saving time by spending and investing less time with Allah. Brothers and sisters, number one way to make quality use of time is to invest time with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more time we give Allah, the more blessed will be the time in your hands. Therefore, do not be stingy, do not be a miser when spending time with Allah, when giving time to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't let this shaitan fool you. Don't let him fool you. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, he reported from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, stinginess and faith can never be combined in the hearts of the slave of Allah. And this stinginess relates to wealth as well as time. Do not be stingy with regards to both of them when it comes to Allah. The busiest person in human history, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tasked to convey the greatest message of all. That is what he had to do, right? Convey the greatest message. Our Prophet. Was he stingy when spending time with Allah? Ask yourself that question. Did he cut back on his ibadah because he had a big message to do? A lot of work to do? No. Never. He would never do that. Yet, he accomplished what he accomplished for all of mankind. That is Rasulullah. That is the example that we need to understand. He was successful in changing the face of the earth. By the will of Allah, of course. So when you get up to pray, when you are connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you start your azkar, realize that every minute that you are spending with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will give you back manifold in terms of rewards and time. It is not a waste. You're not saving time. It is the most productive investment that you can ever have. Do not think otherwise. Make a commitment to yourself. Make a commitment to yourself that you will not rush through your ibadah. Do not shorten your salah for the sake of something of this world. Do not do that. Take your time. When you're reading the azkar, pronounce them clearly. Ponder over their meanings and recite them. Those are beautiful meanings in those azkar. Do not let it go to waste. There are so many factors of our Sharia that are time dependent. The beginning and end times of Salah. The beginning time of Ramadan. The end time of Ramadan. The time that you can go for Hajj. The time that it is due for you to pay your zakah. All based on time. The whole life cycle that we have is about the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You want to learn the value of time? Follow the sunnah. And you learn it. Learn it. As Muslims, we are supposed to schedule our life around the worship of Allah. Do not do it the other way around. Do not do it the other way around. Don't make the worship of Allah to be scheduled in your busy life. The worship of Allah should be at the core. Life can be lived around it. Not the other way around. That is the number one point that we need to remember. Point number 2 is that we need to actively follow the Sunnah and the Quran. The Quran is warning us again and again about what and why you should not be wasting time. Right? Alhaakum at-takathur. Don't be busy in that. Don't follow that path. Right? People today are spending many hours of time on social media. Right? Very busy with that. The internet. The age of the internet, right? You have to be busy with it. Is that what it means? Statistically, the average amount of time worldwide that a person is spending on social media is more than 2.5 hours per day. Average 2.5 hours. Insane. And that's just the average. That means 50% are spending more than that. And this does not even count the time spent on TV. If you add the time spent on entertainment TV, television, Netflix, right? Whatnot, it comes up to more than 5 hours a day. 5 hours a day just killing time. Just killing time. Wasting it away. Not at all ideal. Not ideal at all for a believer. Follow the Prophet's advice. A Muslim is not supposed to be actively wasting time. Can you imagine a person just burning away money? Let us start today, okay? Let's go to the ATM, take out our money and just burn it day to day. How many are willing to do that? I'm sure not many. You're not able to do that, but you're willing to waste that, burn that time in the same sense? You're ready to burn your time, which is probably of more importance than that wealth. The money you can earn back even if you burn it. But time, once gone, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. You're not getting any younger. On the day of judgment, people are going to regret. They are going to regret the time that they wasted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran, did we not give you enough time? Did we not give you the age? Whoever wanted to benefit from it, benefited. This is in the Quran. And that is why on the day of Qiyamah, people will be regretting that they wasted time. They didn't take benefit out of it. And they will feel that their entire life was just a few hours long. Right? يَوْمَ لَا يَرَوْنَهَا لَمْ يَلْبَثُوا إِلَّا عَشِيَّةً أَوْ ضُحَاهَا. When the trumpet is blown, they will think we lived a life of only a day, only a morning, or only an evening. Is that what you feel like? In fact, those people will be arguing with the angels. We had too short a time, too short a life. How do you expect us to do so many good deeds in that? Arguing with the angels about it. Think about it. And that's why they will think they have only a few hours of life in this world. If you don't take benefit from it, that is where you're going to end up. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anh, he said, nothing upsets me more when the sun goes down except that I have not used that day to do something extra towards my akhirah. I regret the day when the sun goes down and I have not done anything extra for my akhirah. He's talking about extra. We are not even doing the regular. What are we doing for our akhirah? Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah, he said, the generation that I lived with, meaning the Sahabi and the Tabi'in, they would value their time with more eagerness than how much you value your gold and silver. Understand the value of time. Brothers and sisters, let us learn from the prophets, from the Sahabi, from the Tabi'in, and understand that we cannot actively indulge in wasting time. Reduce that time that you're wasting, and you will see that you have plenty of time. You will not need to say that I don't have time to do this, to do that. Follow the Prophet. He would go to bed early. He would wake up early. And as he has said, Allah has blessed my ummah in the mornings. And we are wasting away that morning in bed. Think about it. Use those mornings. Spend some time of those mornings with the Quran. Read, understand, implement. Do what you can to improve your akhirah. There are two blessings that mankind does not avail: good health and free time. Good health and free time. You have free time. Use it. Avail it. Use it for your akhirah. Use it for the ummah. Use it for your family. Use it for your children. Do what you can, but use that time properly. Do not waste it away. Take advantage of it. Because verily, the time for you to leave this dunya is coming closer and closer by the second. The time is ending soon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us in the last couple of years in that pandemic situation of how powerful He is and how weak we are. He taught us that. In those 2 years, we couldn't wait for things to get back to normal. We're just eager. Why can't things just go back to normal? How soon? And now when things have gone back to normal, unfortunately, majority of humans have gone back to their old evil sinning ways. What have you learned from it? What have we learned from it? We are still wasting away our time. We are forgetting the lives of those loved ones that have passed away. They don't have time. You do. Use it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us all. May He help us to understand the value of time, the value of the ayats of the Quran, the Sunnah, and the right way of living. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our sins, because He is the Ghafoor Rahim. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Break for Sunnah.